I think it's important to really get your education because like you need something to fall back on when you don't have sports anymore. Because when you don't have like football, basketball, soccer, whatever sport they play or you play, like it's not gonna be a forever thing. For some people it is, and sometimes, depending on how their cars are laid out, it works for everybody. But unfortunately for me, it wasn't like that. So like I was really thankful that I did sit out that year.
Status Podcast. What's his name?
Maverick.
Mm-hmm. What up, Maverick?
Look how he's looking like, what?
How'd you come up with that name?
Huh?
How'd you come up with that name? I like that.
I heard it a couple times on TV, and then the movie Top Gun.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And his name is Maverick in there. I was like, that sounds like a strong name. I like that name.
You try to make him go pro.
Man, right?
He got a pro name.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Status Podcast, where Dana, Ty, and Zay encourage student athletes to take action to universally succeed. The Status Podcast is designed to achieve encompassment of the student athlete and their journeys while navigating multiple avenues. Our goal is to discuss, analyze, and create powerful ways that our student athletes can benefit from using their platform to grow holistically. The Status Podcast will feature topics that can open the eyes of student athletes to endless possibilities in sports and beyond. We, as former student athletes, are passionate about the student athlete experience and using our personal testimonies to repurpose the journey of the life, sports, and education. We plan to capitalize on opportunities to speak on topics regarding the wellness of student athletes, both physically and mentally. We will use our voices to empower and supply the world's athletes with tools to be successful during and after their student athlete experience. Be sure to follow our Instagram at status412_. All
right, but to introduce you, man, Michala and I, we met at Uconn. We came in the same class.
We did.
We had one conversation, hit it off, and we've been cool ever since.
For real, we really have been.
We go sometime every once in a while where we don't talk for a few months, but it's always all love when we connect.
Mm-hmm.
She got her son now. She got a fiance.
Right? I'm like, dang, somebody finally found me. Want to deal with me? You mean you could deal with me? As silly as I am, you want to put up with me?
Man, just to start it off, Michala, like thinking about your high school days, you was a big time recruit in Chicago, and then you ended up going to Uconn. You was top 50 in the state, top 10 of your position, all for 2 ACL injuries too.
Man,
what was that like? What was that like?
Like looking back on my story today, like I'm pretty sure anybody would have been like, "There's no way I'm still gonna get recruited by the number one school, like for women's basketball." And you only played your freshman year, sophomore year, and only like part of my senior year in high school. Like, how is that even possible? I don't know. It was just crazy. Like it all started. Like I tore my ACL probably like my last AAU game going into my junior year. And so I was in denial, like, oh, maybe I just like sprained my knee. Maybe it's just like a small injury. Like it's nothing that serious. Tried to play like my summer, like kind of like a fall league right before the season was about to start, like kind of playing some preseason games, and then just ended up getting hurt again. And then went to the doctor and it was like, you tore your ACL. I'm like, oh my gosh. By this time, like Uconn, I don't even think, maybe they were looking at me. I'm not even sure. But I had so many other colleges like looking at me. So I was just more so, it wasn't even just Uconn I was worried about. I was just like my whole college career, period. I'm like, I'm on my way to being at the top. And then now I'm hurt. I won't be able to play my whole junior year. I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to recruit me. I'm probably just going to like be at home and play for like a junior college. And like, no offense to anybody playing at a junior college, people start there all the time. But that's just where I thought I was about to be, because I sat out my whole year. But then UConn like kept recruiting me. Other college coaches were still recruiting me. Then I came back my senior year, like, okay, this is my year for sure. Like everybody that probably doubted me before, like this is my time to like prove them wrong. Then we get like more than halfway through the season, and I just tore my ACL again. I'm like, it's a wrap. I'm like,
Yeah.
without a doubt, like by this time I had already like verbally committed to UConn. I'm like, I'm all in. And then I'm like, oh, they about to like pull my scholarship away from me. Like I didn't even sign anything. I just verbally committed. That doesn't even mean anything. I just knew they were about to say no. But hey, they still
They
believed in me.
stuck with you. They stuck with you, and then you left them.
I did. I really did. But I don't regret my decision at all. Like, honestly, like if I could go back and do it all over again, I would do it the exact same way.
That's
like
cool.
I left UConn with no bad blood, like even from the coaches to this day. Like even when they knew that I tore my ACL back in Wisconsin, like they still hit me up. So I'm like, it's still all
cool.
love there.
Yeah, that's cool. So in high school, whenever you tore your ACL the first time, what was your mindset like, as far as taking care of your schoolwork and trying to rehab to get back to where you was? Was that a burden on you to try to keep up with everything while rehabbing the injury?
It was really hard because again, like my mindset was just like, okay, if I get hurt and then I have to think of like a different route now, like because sports, like it's not gonna last forever. So what do I really want to do after high school? Like, are you going to get a job? Are you going to go to college? If you go to college, what are you going to major in? Like, what are you going to do? So my mom's biggest thing, and both my mom and my dad biggest thing is like, you have to get an education. Like, no matter what, you have to graduate, whether like high school, college, you have to stay focused on school. So I had to keep that as my main priority. I couldn't let my grades go down. And then I went to a private school too. So, parents like, we ain't spending money for nothing. So, I had to make sure like I was on top of my grades, making sure I was still staying focused in that because, a lot of the times my mom was like, you just never know. Things could change. Things can happen. Like basketball, you might still keep playing, but one thing for sure, you got to keep your grades up. So I had to.
I can picture your mom now.
Man, what on me about them grades? But then like rehab, it wasn't too hard to like balance the two because I was kind of already doing it anyway with like AAU, high school basketball, like practice 2-3 times out the night, like 2-a-days. So it's like it's hard to balance, but then it prepares you for the end when you have to go to college and have to do the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's so what was your sister's mindset whenever you was going through it? Because I know she kind of followed the same path as you. Seeing you go through that, what was her mindset and kind of looking up to you?
So me and my sister are total opposite. My sister is taller than me, like I'm 6'3", she like 6'4". She hated basketball, right? Like total opposite, but still went to school for basketball, like got a scholarship, everything. Her whole thing was she just didn't think she ended up tearing her ACL as well. She actually tore it. Did she tear it twice? I think she ended up tearing it twice as well.
Wow.
When she tore hers, I was there for her, like from the time it happened to like the end, like throughout her whole like rehab process, because I still had to do rehab as well, just to keep up with my body and making sure I'm doing everything right. So I think, and she said this to me before, like if I wasn't there for her, she probably would have quit after the first one. Like she would have just been done. But because she saw me go through it so many times and she saw how hard I like stay focused, kept working, like making sure I was coming back even stronger and better. Like it just made her, that was like the fuel to her fire. Like that's what she needed to get her through all of it. And I think it also helped because I was at school with her. So I was able to like pretty much be her like coach, like you got to keep going, don't stop.
Yeah, for sure. It's that's crazy. So we all played, high school ball, and then we went on to play college ball. What would y'all boys go through if y'all was tear your ACL twice?
That's what I was just about to ask you. What was your motivation to keep going? Because obviously your sister had you to lean on. Who did you lean on to stay motivated to still chase that dream?
I think it was always my dad. I would say my dad, every time, like whether I hurt my like broke a fingernail, like hurt my ankle, like twist my ankle, my dad was like, do you want to stop? I mean, you could stop if you want to. And I'm like, no, I can't stop. He was like, okay, that's what I wanted to hear. But I just want to ask you, like, did you want to stop? So like throughout the whole time, like my dad has been my number one fan. He always asks me, like, do you want to stop? And whenever I hear him say, do you want to stop? He really saying, like, you're not going to stop. Like you have to keep going. So I think as him always asking me, like, do you want to stop? And I'm just like, no, I gotta keep going. Like I have to prove people wrong. Like more so myself. It's not even so much the people. It's like I have to prove myself wrong because I know that I could do it. But then like this last time when I tore my ACL, he was like, I think you need to stop. It's like, I think I need to stop. It was no more, do you want to stop? It was like, I think you need to stop. So I was like, right, I think I need to stop.
So whenever you tore your ACL, whenever you went and played semi-pro, your dad asked you, are you done now?
Yeah.
What was that mindset like, just knowing that you were about to give up basketball for good?
I'm not even gonna lie. I probably was like depressed for like a good 2 months. And the reason why I say that is because I was so sad because it's like all my life, like this is the sport I've been playing, and all my life, like this is what I said I wanted to do. Like I just knew that I was gonna stop playing basketball when I wanted to stop playing, not like because I got hurt, not because somebody said you need to stop. Like I just was like, oh, like I'm gonna play overseas a couple times. Like I had already signed my contract to go back overseas because I went over there once and I was like, okay, like I had a good team, like good teammates over there. I was like, okay, I'm about to go back over to Belgium again, like play, and I'll probably do that a couple more years and then I'll be done. Like that's where my mindset was. But then when this last time it happened, I was just like, I don't know. Like I really had to think about my life because again, like my mom always said, like, you won't be able to play basketball forever. You need to think about what you want to do after basketball. And now I'm like, oh, I got time. Like keep putting it on the back burner because in my mind, I got time. But then that happened. I was just like, I really need to figure out what I'm about to do. Like I need to figure it out like soon because like life is real and it's hidden and it's like, you not leaving. Like I'm used to only coming home for like 2 weeks, maybe a month, and then I'm out. And now I'm like, I'm here.
Dang.
So like, it was hard.
How long did it take to rehab ACL injury? I'm Jose, by the way. Michala, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I just wanted to know how long did it take for you to rehab the ACL injury, like normally?
It take about 9 months, but like some people, like Candace Parker, you come back in 6 months, which, okay, you can come back in 6 months, but if you got like top notch, like people that's with you 24/7, and that's all you do, then yeah, you come back in 6 months, but it take about 9 months and then like a year fully for you to really feel like you back in your groove again.
That girl played a season like 3 weeks after she had a baby.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, if I had her trainers with me 24/7, I'd be back too. Like, come on, let's go.
I was just wondering. That's strong though. You know what I mean? You kept coming back. This is crazy.
9 months came like all you could do is just like sit there and watch people practice. I'm pretty much being everybody's cheerleader. Like and I always look at it like every negative has a positive. So I just kept on saying like, okay, like the positive side is that you can come back. The positive side is that you doing better, you getting better, like you almost there. Like just don't look at the months, don't count the days, just like focus on other things. Like you can get through.
So why Uconn? Why'd you choose Uconn out of high school?
So I chose Uconn because I could have honestly went like anywhere I wanted to go. Like no lie, like not to brag or nothing, but when I say I could have went anywhere,
we get it.
I could have went anywhere. No, I went to Uconn because I really wanted to play for a team that like played on TV. That was my thing. I was like, I want to play on TV. I want to play for like the best team. I want to continue to win. Like in high school, my team was good. We went to state every year. We went there every year, came in like my freshman year, we came in 3rd place. And then, but they haven't been there in so long. So that was another one of my driving forces. Like, I'm always like trying to beat records. Like, what can I do to like beat something? Like my high school hasn't even been to state in like the 80s. Here it is like 2006, 7, we make it to state. So like, that was my thing. So I was on a winning team in high school, winning team in AAU. So I was like, it's only right for me to be on a winning team in college. And then when I went to Uconn on my like official visits and stuff, like I got along with Tiffany Hayes, you know, one of our closest friends, got along with her. And then I just felt like a family vibe there. Like it was good energy there. I liked the campus. I liked the coaches. I liked the environment. And when I was getting recruited by the other like schools, I really didn't feel that family vibe. And that's what's really important to me. And so that's when I was like, okay.
Are you close to going anywhere else?
Sorry?
Were you close to going anywhere else?
It was Uconn, and then I don't know. I kind of just everybody just thought that I would pick them because I went on so many visits. I don't know. Like Notre Dame was one. I really thought about going to Notre Dame because they were really the closest to home. So I really thought about them. But then I was just like, I'm just not getting that vibe. And then Wisconsin was one of them. I was like, oh no, I'm definitely not going to Wisconsin. Here I am today. I was like, no, I definitely don't want to go there. Like, it's too close to home. I was like, I just need to get away. Like, I need to get away. Then I thought about going down south too, because I got family down south. And then I was just like, it's just too hard for me to choose and pick.
That was loaded whenever you came in.
Yeah, we did. We came in it was 5 people there and 5 people coming in.
Yeah.
You usually don't see that.
How many you guys lost? Did Lauren transfer? Did you lose 3 guys?
Lauren transferred.
Samari transferred.
Samari transferred. I transferred. So it was just Bria and Stephanie that stayed.
Wow, that's crazy to think about.
I know. I'm like,
wow.
So whenever you got to Uconn, what was that transition like out of high school? I mean, you coming from the Midwest, coming to the Northeast. I mean, the weather's about the same, but you're so far away from home. What was that transition like?
It was different. I was definitely homesick probably like the first couple days because I was like, man, like I'm really in a whole different place on the other side of the world to me because I'm like, I mean, I had an uncle that lived in New York, but I'm just like, I don't come to New York. I don't come to the East Coast. Like everything is just new to me. So it was a little scary, not gonna lie. And then being that like I'm in a whole new place now, like in college, I don't have any friends. Like it's time for me to just start over. It's not like I know one person coming in. I didn't know anybody. So I was really nervous about that. Like I said, I was homesick for like the first couple of days. And then I got there before everybody too, because I was coming off my injury. And so they made me come early before everyone else was there. So that made me even more sad because I'm like, I really don't know nobody and I'm here before the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, that was a big transition for me.
Was y'all boys homesick when y'all went to college?
And I made my mom come up to every game freshman year, get a hotel, stay for the weekend. I made an excuse up to my, we played Ohio, and I told my mom, I said, man, you got to come pick me up. I'm coming home. I don't care what. I told my position coach, I'm telling this live, I told my position coach, man, God rest her soul. I said, my grandma's in the hospital. Like, I need to go home. Meanwhile, she passed away. So my mom,
a long time, man. You can't be using Aunt Linda. R.I.P. Aunt Linda, man.
My mom picked me up. I ain't go back. I left. So we played Saturday. She picked me up Saturday night. I didn't go back till Wednesday. And then
that's a long time.
Yeah. So I needed that though.
What school did you go to?
Penn State.
Penn State?
Mm-hmm. Penn State.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, Kent State. Okay.
I was kind of the same way. Michala knows. I left every weekend.
Yeah. He left every week. Like any chance he had off, he was going home. I'm like, you're not even gonna make any friends here.
So what? I'm out.
He was always catching that train to New York.
Yeah, exactly. You know, all my people was in New York. What's up?
I didn't know you were on the train, bro.
On a bus.
Oh,
I was on a bus. Okay. Yeah, I used to catch that bus to New York every weekend.
Man,
all the time.
One weekend I ended up staying. I don't even know why I stayed. And then me and Michala got cool.
Mm-hmm. I was like, you have to stay. Like, just stay one weekend. Like, it's okay.
Come on.
You like stoop kids, scared to leave stoop.
I was out of there, man. I wasn't messing with the vibe for real. but it grew on me, just like probably college for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
The big
I think
transition.
it's a huge, especially whenever you're going so far away from home.
Yeah.
Imagine though you're in PA, Uconn. I mean, it's not that far of a drive, but Illinois to Connecticut is crazy.
Yeah, you got to fly.
Yeah, you have to fly. I mean, you could drive if you want to, but
the drive is like probably 17 hours.
Yeah, probably so. I'm like, no, it's no going home for me. It's like you have to ride this wave and just stick it out.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what you did.
Yeah, I mean, my dad ended up coming like eventually, but I was just like, y'all can't come right now. Like, nobody. Like, okay, it's cool. I just call you every day.
And I know that was tough on you coming off them injuries, so your mindset was everywhere.
Yeah,
and then being so far away from home.
Yeah, because you can't just like go work out and then like go talk to your mom or dad and be like, hey, like actually talk to them face to face or like give them a hug or something. I don't know. It's just like, even if you just in the same room with your family, like it's just different versus like talking to them on the phone every day. It's just not the same. It's like, I need you here.
Yeah, for sure. Was it hard for you to get in your groove when you got to UConn?
It was because, one, like I said, I had to come early before everybody because I had to do rehab and like make sure I was staying on track with that. So by the time everyone else came, like I was slowly getting back into the groove, not really fully, but I was like slowly kind of like practicing with them and stuff. Yeah. And then it was hard because like UConn's number one. So you know Gino getting all top players. And now it's like I'm in the mix with the best of the best and I'm no longer the best. So it's like, as good as you think you are, you're really not that good because now you got Bria Hartley, who's the best. You got Stephanie Dawson, who's the best. Samari Walker, who's the best. Like, everybody's the best. And then you're not the only, like, superstar on the team anymore. Yeah, so, like, that was hard.
The way you put it just now, your class was loaded.
Man.
That's why y'all came in to contribute to that national championship so quick.
I know. I mean, like, how could you not? Usually you get only, like, 2 top people or maybe, like, 1 top person. Like, you had the top 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Were you going into UConn, you know, coming with them injuries and having a class like y'all had? Was you worried about, you know, the uphill battle you had to face and slowly maybe like, you know, getting moved down and getting forgotten about?
Yes, definitely. That's part of the reason why I left, because I knew, like, I mean, I commend anybody who stays on the team and know that you're getting moved down to stick it out. Like, I really do commend them because I couldn't do that. Like, for myself, I just couldn't do it. I mean, coming in, like, I'm coming off an injury, so I'm already pushed back. And then everybody else is just coming in, like, going 100. And I can't go 100 because I'm not fully there. Then when I finally come back to be 100, I got to guard Maya Moore every single day. So I'm just like, oh, my gosh, like, I'm getting beat after play because I'm trying to keep up with her. And then I'm like, is my the only one that's going to guard her? Like, nobody else want to guard her? Like, dang, y'all all at 100. I'm still trying to get to 100. So it's like, dang, why can't nobody else pick her up? But I'm like, you know, I'm like, it's whatever. Like, I'm just getting better. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm just going to I'm getting better. She's a senior. I'm a freshman. Like, this is how it's supposed to be.
Man.
And then as the time started to go on, I'm just like, all right, I'm starting to get better. But then you got another class coming in. Like, I'm about to be a sophomore. You still got the best of the best still coming in. So, like, did I make any, like, impression on him my freshman year? Like, I feel like I couldn't have made that big of an impression because I'm coming off an injury. So it's like, do you compare me to everybody who isn't injured, or do you compare me to someone who is injured and like, this is the best that I could do right now? So then by the time my sophomore year, I'm just like, I started to see like, I'm being pushed back. Like, I shouldn't be getting pushed back. I got to make a move. Something is about to change and happen, but like, I'm going to ride it out until the end of my sophomore year, but I'm starting to like pick up and notice that like, I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah. What was it like watching? What was it like watching Maya as a freshman? She was so dominant. Like not even just in the games, but like whenever I used to watch y'all work out on the field hockey field, and y'all would run sprints, and she would be literally like 40 yards ahead of everybody. Like literally 40
so
40 yards.
For real. Like I don't think she get tired. Like when I say like like you try to keep up with this girl, like you can't. You cannot keep up with this woman because it's like Superman.
Was that work ethic contagious?
Huh?
Was that work ethic contagious?
Yeah, because one more so for me because I'm guarding her and I'm a freshman, so I'm trying to like keep up with her and learn from her. Cause like most freshmen come in and just think that like whatever, I'm the stuff, you can't tell me nothing. But I'm coming in like, no, what can I learn from you?
Yeah,
like
sure.
I'm coming in, I don't really know much. I mean, I think I know stuff, but I mean, you about to leave, so can you teach me something? So I'm gonna try to like keep up with you and try my best. But it was hard. But I mean, in the end, I'm like, hey, her hard work pay off.
Yeah, no doubt. It's still crazy to see her not playing basketball right now.
I know. So different.
I was
world.
just thinking about that. I totally forgot about that she was sitting out.
Yeah, it's crazy to see.
Michala, can I, or go ahead, Ty. I wanted to ask
you.
Go
ahead, Zay. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, like, what was a typical day like for you, for Uconn women's basketball player? You know what I mean? Just your freshman year or senior year, but let's say coming in from high school. Let's say like when you woke up, go to class, you know, stuff like that. How was it?
Like my everyday life as far as like high school or in college?
No, I'm sorry. In college, Uconn.
Oh, in college. Let's see, preseason or in season? Because that's like two different worlds.
Different worlds, for sure.
Both. So like preseason, I'm pretty sure we probably had like a 6 a.m. workout. So that could be either on the football field, it could be in the gym. Sometimes we like on Fridays we did like different like circuits where we like swim, then we had to run on the field, then you had to do something on like the row machine. So we always had like 6 a.m. workouts. Then depending on your class schedule, you would either have an individual workout with one of the coaches. So it could have just been me and the coach, or it could be like me and another player and the coach. Let's say right after workouts, and then you go to class. And after class, you trying to decide, do you want to eat or do you want to sleep? Like which one do you want to do? And then you trying to be like, okay, I think I'm going to sleep, because my whole thing was I cannot sleep and walk, but I can eat and walk. So I'm gonna go to sleep first. I get some food later.
You said eat and walk.
Yeah, I can eat and walk, but I can't sleep and walk. I can take my food with me. I can sit in class and eat, but I can't sit in class and sleep. Like that's what I can't do. Hey. So I probably after class, probably eat and walk, and then go home, take a nap, and then we probably got practice later on. And then after practice, then you got study hall, and then
shout out to Ellen. Big shout out to Ellen.
Shout out to Ellen. And you know, I didn't even really see Ellen that much after the summer. Man, it was like I only had Ellen for like a little bit of time.
Ellen was our academic advisor. I seen her every 5 seconds.
Every 5. I know you had to.
Hey, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just about to say academic advisors like save your life. Man.
I was looking at you got the Wisconsin shirt on. Was there a big difference in like campus life and you know what I mean, just like the way the hometown treated you? You know? Yeah,
it was like, you know, it was like night and day as far as it was night and day as far as like the campus field, and then it was night and day as far as like just the basketball aspect of it. So like at Uconn, it's like it's smaller. The campus is smaller. Even though like the school and their name is big, the campus is really small. Like it's just the small town. It's like one way in, one way out. As soon as you come in, boom, there's campus, you out, that's it. Wow. At Wisconsin, it's in Madison. So Madison is the capital. So it's like the campus is really big. You really don't know if you're on campus or off of campus because it's integrated within the city.
That's how it is.
Yeah. You integrated with the city. So you kind of like mixed in with like in-town people, and then you kind of integrated with like college students. So you really like, and you could live anywhere. Like, I don't know, am I living on campus, off campus? And the campus was just bigger. Like Uconn, if I missed the bus, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. I know I could probably beat the bus if I'm walking. In Wisconsin, it's no beating a bus. It's like you missed the bus, you missed the bus. You should have hopped on because
Like,
if you walk in, it's just you going like it's a hike for you.
If I miss the blue line or the red line, I'm going back to sleep.
And that's how it is in Wisconsin. You miss the bus, you're like, oh man, should I just go back home or because it's about to be a hike?
So you saying Wisconsin was smaller. How did it feel? How was that feeling, going to Uconn and going to a program basically, and no offense, Ty, women's basketball being the biggest program on campus that everybody talk about. You know what I mean? So what was that feeling like knowing like, all right, I'm going to top dogs. Like that when you walk around campus, they pointing at you, they looking at you, you know what I mean? They're excited to see you.
Man, you feel like a celebrity because everybody, like, as soon as you have on a Uconn like shirt or anything like women's basketball, everybody's like, oh, that's women's basketball. Like, move out the way. Like, here they come. You're like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, it's okay. No, you go ahead. You got it. So you feel like a celebrity. Everywhere you go, you traveling, everybody like, oh, can I get your autograph? You're like, oh, sorry, not today. Like, maybe after the game.
How hard was the decision to leave UConn? Whenever you think about this, whenever you start thinking about that move, that transition, where did that come from? Where did that start? And what was the process like of thinking about transferring?
So I think it was probably midway through our season, and I just like was getting really sad, like as far as basketball wise. Friend wise, like outside of basketball, like my friend group, like I loved them. I wanted to stay. Remember, I was talking to you, like I want to stay because I had friends. Like I built these relationships with like him, built a relationship with like my teammates, like other friends outside of my team. Like I built these relationships with these people, and it's just like I don't want to leave my friends, but I'm not happy here. So it's like, do I stay for my friends or do I just stay? Like, do I leave to make myself happy? And so probably like midway through the season, I just started to like notice that. So we had a white team and a blue team. And if you were on the white team, you were a starter. If you were blue, like you were practicing with the practice players. And like, I mean, granted, it's only 5 people could be on the white team, right? But like, I was never getting in rotation as far as like changing my jersey over to white. And by the time I did change my jersey over to white, it's like, it's too late. Like a couple other people got to change their jersey over to white, but my jersey's still being blue. Then I started to like notice that like if we'll start scrimmaging and I'd be like, I don't want to scrimmage. Like let the practice players go in. I'm going to see if anybody noticed that I'm not getting in the rotation. Like if they do notice that I'm not getting in rotation, then it's like, oh, okay, so y'all actually do see me here. But if you don't notice that I'm not getting in rotation, then I know that you're not looking at me anymore. And that it's like, y'all have really just moved past me and on to the next, which I mean, you're going to get the best of the best anyway. So I like kept trying to do as much as I can, like do extra workouts, come in early, stay later, like talk to the coaches, like do everything I can to make sure that I will like get noticed and get put in rotation. And I just wasn't. So I was just like, I can't be here. Like I'm just not happy with like being here on the team. Like again, like I love the coaches, I love everybody around me, but I'm just like with myself, I'm not happy. And I know the type of player that I am. And like coming from high school, like coming to high school, I could have went to any school that I wanted to, and now I'm here and I'm not playing. And then I was like, I know I'm better than this. Like I could still go anywhere I want to go if I really wanted to. So then that's when like I said, my sister was playing basketball and then she was going on different college visits. And so my sister, we only 3 years apart. And like growing up, like with me playing basketball and as good as I am, like no lie, like I'm better than my sister. She would say I'm better than her. Like I'm not even sure why she would say that. So everybody compared her to me because we both tall, we both skinny, we both play the same position. So if I did something, they compared her to me. So when she was going on these different visits to these college visits, I would ask her like, oh, how'd you like that school? Like, tell me about it. And then I would ask her like, if I leave, would you be mad if we go to the same school? or because like I don't want to go to the same school as you because I know like throughout high school you always got compared to me and I don't want you to go through the same thing again in college. And so then she was like, no, like you should go to school with me. So then whenever she would go on these visits, I would like ask her like, how do you feel about it? Or ask the coaches this and ask them this and how do you feel about this? And so it's kind of like she was going on these visits like for me. Like to see like where should we go? And so then when she chose Wisconsin because she didn't want to be far from home, I also didn't want to be far from home because now I'm on the East Coast. Like I already don't see my family. I'm missing out on a lot of things. I can't just go home when I want to. Wisconsin is only like a 2-hour car ride. So I'm like, bet 2 hours away. Yes, like let's go there. Like I'm about to be close to home. And I was being like Ty, going home every freaking weekend once I got to Wisconsin. Once I got there, I'm like, any off time, I'm out. Like, I'm not staying here. Like, I had been away from my family and from home for so long. So then, my sister, she committed to Wisconsin, like verbally, because she's a junior at this point. And I'm a sophomore in college. So once she committed, then I kind of just started talking to my AAU coaches and was just like, I think after the season, I want to leave and I want to go to Wisconsin. Like, I want to play with my sister. Like, this is where I want to go. And then, like, once our basketball season was over, then you had, like, at the end of the year, you, like, had these meetings with your coaches. And I just, like, walked into Gino's office and I just broke down, started crying. Was like, I'm not happy here. I want to leave. Like, I just can't be here because like I'm not getting what I want as far as basketball wise. And I was like, I'm not playing that much and I feel like I'm being overlooked. And he was just straight up and honest with me. Like, yeah, we are kind of overlooking you. And like so many words, those weren't like his exact words, but in so many words, he's like, you're right. Like, we just haven't seen anything in you. And so then I was just like, do you have any advice for me moving forward? Because, I'm like, I don't want to make the same mistake, like leaving you to go somewhere else and have the same thing. And so he was just like, the only thing I say to you is like, be more consistent. And he was like, you need to work on your shot. Cause like I was a post player, but I'm tall and skinny. And like, I'm kind of undersized for my position because I got like Stephanie Dawson, who's like, me and her tall, but she's thicker than me. And I can't move somebody that big. So he was like, you need to work on your ball handling skills. You need to work on shooting. You need to work on other things and just be more consistent with that. And so then I was like, okay, like that's all I needed to know. And when I went to Wisconsin, that's exactly what I worked on. I worked on shooting, my ball handling skills. I worked on being like a post and being outside, like working in and out. And I was just like, I got to change my whole game and my whole like perspective on the game.
Yeah. Do you appreciate Gino for that?
I do. I really do, because I think that if he didn't tell me that, I probably would have went to Wisconsin doing the same thing. I probably wouldn't have worked on ball handling skills. I wouldn't have worked on like working on being like a 3-4, because as time went on, like after I got out of Wisconsin and all that stuff, like I started being like a 3-4. I was no longer a 5. And like being in, like when you younger and you tall, everybody's like, oh, you tall, you should be a post. Like, and you like, oh, okay. Like I'm the tallest one on the team. I should be a post player, but nobody's ever telling the tallest people, you need to learn how to dribble. You need to learn how to shoot and work on other things, because when you get to college, everybody the same height. Yeah, and I'm just like, that's real.
How was that first initial feeling, like, you know, being young, being a kid, and hearing that, you know, your coach tell you that, you know, we are overlooking you, you need to work on this, you need to work on that? Did you take it like to the heart initially, or like off rip you knew exactly like, all right, this is what I got to do?
So, and I was, it's so crazy that you said this, because I was just talking to my best friend today and saying like, if it wasn't for basketball, I probably wouldn't be mentally tough. And my high school coach was exactly like Gino, like get in you, chew you out, like to know tomorrow. So that's how Gino is, and that's how my high school coach is. So when I went to him, I was coming in like ready to hear him say anything. Like whatever you tell me, I'm not gonna take offense to it, because I'm pretty sure it's truth behind it. And like I know it's truth behind it, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be coming to you today. I could have been in denial, like, oh, that's BS, you crazy, you lying, because he's not. Because I'm like, I'm not being consistent. I know I'm not, because I'm like have mentally checked out.
Whenever you were planning on leaving UConn, did you think about having to sit out a year and what that was going to look like for you?
At this point, I was like, get me out. I'm like, at this point, I was like, I don't even care. Like, get me out. Like, mentally, I'm checked out. I need to, like, get out. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I don't even care if I sit out or not, as long as I'm not here.
How you think that one transfer rule would have done for you?
If the one transfer rule was around when I was in college, like, it would have really been good, because I was like, oh, okay, bet. Like, okay, I get to go to Wisconsin, get to play. By this time, I would have been a junior. Then I got like 2 years. I'm out. Like my junior, senior, I'm out. I would have only played 1 year with my sister, because by the time I got to UConn, or by the time I got to Wisconsin, she was a senior in high school. So when I was a junior, or when I was a senior in college, then she was a freshman. So I would have only had 1 year to play with her. But I think it would have been cool. I'm glad it wasn't a thing, because I got to, that year that I sat out, I got to work on the things that Gino told me I needed to work on. And I think if I didn't have that year out, I would have been like rushed to try to like perfect my game and try to change up what I needed to change up. So I'm kind of glad I wasn't there.
What's cool about that rule, though, I think you can make that decision if you want to play immediately or if you want to sit out a year.
Yeah,
you have to go through like a bunch of different processes to to play immediately, because if you leave and then you have to like get a letter, write a letter to your coach and get it approved and all of that just to play immediately. But if you just leave without doing a letter and things like that, you got to sit out a year. So you would have had that opportunity to just chill for a year and work on your game.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. But I honestly think they changed that rule, like for real, for like the guys. Like they know so many like guys who transfer and they hate that they have to sit out that year because it's holding them back from being drafted into the league, which it is some truth behind it. But in our reality, they changed it for the guys because it's not benefiting the girl. It's not like I could have left high school, played my freshman year, and then got drafted to the WNBA. I would have had to still wait.
Yeah, it's crazy because a lot of the to me, a lot of the things that were happening with the transfers, like Justin Fields and stuff like that in football, some people was getting granted to play immediately and some people wasn't, and nobody knew what the rule was, and they was like, so are we playing immediately or are we not? And then they was just like, everybody can play immediately, which I think is going to be a benefit because, as a 16, 17-year-old kid, what you want at that age is probably a lot different than what you want, as a 20, 21-year-old, young adult. So.
Yeah. A lot of time I know they was approving not approving, like you couldn't transfer within the league. Because I know Big 12 had a few issues like that. A few players trying to transfer from, like, let's say Texas to Oklahoma. Athletic department wouldn't sign off on it.
Yeah, that was always the thing. I think you can transfer in conference now too, which is crazy.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's crazy too, because you couldn't do that.
Yeah, I know you couldn't do that, but I think you can now. So whenever you went to Wisconsin, and it was like night and day in terms of your play.
Yeah.
What was that? What was the motivating factor of that transition? You was like not playing at UConn. If you got in, you would score like 1 point. And then you went to Wisconsin and you're like leading the team. You averaged almost 17 points a game. You out there breaking records. Like it was like a flip switch. How was it?
It was. So once I finally was able to play, like I said, like you said, it was like night and day. And once I kind of like got in my groove, I was just like, this is why UConn like recruited me, because I know I could play. Like being at UConn, I was feeling like, oh, like you're not that good anymore. Like you really can't play because you're not playing. So then I started questioning my game and myself, like, was I really as good as I thought I was? Like, how come why am I not scoring? Like, why am I not like getting in my groove like I used to? Once I went to Wisconsin, I was like back in my groove. I'm like, oh yeah, like I know you knew how to play still. Like you didn't lose it. Like it's still in you. It was just like such a confidence booster for me, because it was kind of like, finally I'm back where like the old Michala is back. I'm finally playing the way that I know how to play, and I'm scoring like I know how to score.
Yeah,
so that was much better for me. I mean, we was losing a lot, like goodness. But hey, I was just like, I don't know. That was frustrating too, because like in high school, winning all the time, we probably lost like maybe 2 games in high school. Then you get to Uconn, you like not losing any games. Then I get to Wisconsin, and I'm getting like 20-something points a game, and we still losing. So I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, I don't get it. Man, like, I'm frustrated with that. Like,
when y'all lost that. When y'all lost at Uconn, it was like the world was ending, boy.
Yeah.
It was like literally depression.
Doomsday.
It was crazy. Like I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, everybody was like sad, depressed. I'm like, y'all, it's just one game.
Yeah, Michala wasn't affected too much.
I'm like,
whatever.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna still be on the bench cheering for you guys. just make sure you get up to about 30 points so I can get in the game. That was my mindset. Like, get up to 30 so I can get in.
Like some of her classmates, like if you walk in Bria's room after they lost a game, it would be like a black cloud in there. I was like, yo, y'all just lost one game. Like y'all can still win a national championship.
Yeah. It was like lights out. I'm like, hey,
yeah, yo, like
hey, what you doing? Up in the league? Like they said up here. Like I can't be here.
Yes, that's what made them so dominant, man, because that losing was not on their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But you transfer, y'all's losing now at Wisconsin. You're not winning as much at the Uconn. Did you start to regret your decision in transferring to Wisconsin?
Man, let me tell you, I'm not gonna lie. I probably had like 25 points one game, right? I had 25 points, probably like 10 rebounds, and like 4 assists. When I say we lost, and then it was like a consistent thing, I immediately I go to my dad. I'm crying after the game, like bawling, because I'm just not understanding how we losing, and I'm like producing, like what is happening. And then it just got to the point where my dad was just like, it's a different world, like you not with the best anymore. Like I mean, don't get me wrong, like I love my teammates at Wisconsin. I appreciate Wisconsin for like my graduating there and all that, but the whole like it was just different. It was just really, really different. And like I wouldn't say like I don't know if it was the players or the coaches, like still to this day, like one of my best friends, she actually went to Louisville and then she transferred to Wisconsin. So she was playing like Angel McCartry. She used to play against Uconn. So me and her was like in the same boat where like we used to winning all the time. Then we get to Wisconsin and we're losing all the time. So me and her used to like have like conversations after every game, like what's happening, like what is going on, and we like, is it the players, is it us, is it the coaches, like we don't know. It's just like different. Like I mean, Wisconsin can only get certain amount of like good players, like you can't get all of the top like UConn can. So that part was just like different, and then I just had to change my mindset. Like I just had to go into every game not thinking about what the outcome will be, but how many points am I going to get? How many rebounds am I going to get? Like I had to make an effort that I get a double every time. And then it got to the point where it's like, okay, you have to get 20 points. Like you have to get 20 and 10 every game. And then it'd be like, okay, let's increase it. Like this game, let's try to get like 24 points. Let's see if you could do it. So then I had to play a mind game with myself. Like, you got to get 24 and 10 in this game. Like you have to. You cannot end this game without getting 24 and 10. And then I'd be like, oh, we lost. But I'd be like, but I got my 24 and 10. Like, I don't care about the score. I got 24 and 10.
How different was the culture from Uconn and Wisconsin?
It was a lot different. Like the work ethic was different. As far as like the players, like you said, like we lose a game at UConn, everybody on the team is depressed, and we go to practice, and it's like, don't laugh, don't joke. Like, this is serious. Like, we just lost the game. But like in Wisconsin, you lose the game. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. Hurry on to the next game. And I'm just like, no, like, you can't be laughing about that. Like, y'all should be mad. Like, am I not the only one that's mad about that? So it was just like different. The workout style was different. Some things that I felt was really hard at Uconn. When I got to Wisconsin, I'm like, this is not hard at all. Like, but I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just like, are they not pushing us hard enough because they don't think we could do it? Or like, this is how it is over here. Like, I guess this is how it is.
Different than standard.
Yeah, it's a different standard because it's standard. Yeah, definitely. So I'm kind of like,
how was that transition, you know, getting new teammates, trying to fit in with them, you know, a whole new world?
That was kind of hard because, like I said, my sister wasn't there yet. I was just there. I was there before her. So if she had came in with me, like if we was going together, now I was like, okay, cool. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't have to really have friends. Like, I got my sister. So, that first summer when I got there, I'm not gonna lie, I went home every weekend. Like, if we had practice Monday through Thursday and I didn't have class on Friday, I was out Thursday after class. Like, they weren't talking to me. You wasn't gonna catch me because I'm like, I'm at home. But then it got to the point where, like, okay, like the season is starting, I can't go home every weekend. So then I was like, okay, Michala, you have to actually make a conscious effort of like making friends and getting to know your teammates. And then, like I said, my one teammate who played at Louisville and transferred to Wisconsin, like, we went to dinner one day and then we just talked for like hours. And then we was just talking about like our experiences. Cause like I said, Louisville was like up there with like Uconn. She had top players on her team. So then I was able to connect with her because I was just like, it's a different world here. Like, I don't understand how like the standard is so low, but they want us to win. Like, I'm not used to playing down. Like, I'm used to playing up. So she had to like help me transition. And if it wasn't for her, I probably would have been like, yes, sis, I don't know about this. I got to leave Wisconsin because this standard is too low for me.
Damn.
But that's good you were able to find, you know, your happy space at Wisconsin, even though it wasn't winning every game.
Yes, definitely. But I was happily mentally because I was just like,
because you were scoring, that's why.
Yeah, I'm scoring, so I'm happy. I'm like, finally.
so it was like, finally, I'm scoring again. Everything's going right. Then you tear your ACL again.
Yes, like I'm starting, I'm scoring. I'm playing with my sister at this point. I'm like, yes, like finally, like everything is going good. And then I just never forget. It was just like we were in Miami and we was in the hotel and I was rooming with my sister and I was just telling her like something just don't feel right today. She was like, what you mean? I was like, I don't know. Like I just got this like eerie feeling, like something just doesn't feel right. And then I was like, it's hot in the gym. It's hot in this hotel, but nobody else was hot. I was the only one that was hot. I'm like, something is just not right. Like something is in the air. And so then like the game gets going. We at Miami, the game gets going. And like the first time out, I'm looking to my sister like, girl, something is wrong. Like I know it. I feel it in my bones. The next thing you know, we go back and it probably was like after the timeout, a couple minutes later, and I just like it's a fast break. I got the ball, I'm finna jump stop, pass to my sister, and I just fall to the ground, like just fall forward. And then I was just standing there, and she was like, get up. And I was like, I can't get up. And she was like, what's wrong? I was like, I tore my ACL. Like I knew off rip. I'm like, I tore my ACL. She was like, how do you know? I'm like, I know. Like I already know.
I did it 8 times already.
Right.
By this time, it's the third time. So I'm like, girl, I know when I tore my ACL. Like, you can't tell me I didn't tear it. Sure enough, the next day we go get an MRI and they're like, yep, she tore it. I was like, I told you. Like, I just knew it was just something that day just didn't feel right. If it was up to me, I would have been like, hey, coach, I don't want to play today. Like, that's what I would have said. Like, I don't want to play today. Something is up. I don't think I should play. Like, that's what if I could have went back and told her that, I would have said
that's
that.
crazy, man. But I think this was a dope conversation, man. So I got a three-pronged question, unless you guys got anything else you want to ask.
I just you might be following up with this question, but you know, with the new rule in effect, what advice can you give, like, you know, student athletes that's thinking about transferring, what steps they may want to take and what to consider.
Now we're talking advice for the guys or the
girls? Anybody. Just
for the guys, I'm telling you, if I was a guy, I'd be like, shoot, do that one and done. Go ahead, transfer. You need to play. If you're trying to go to the league, then you need to go ahead and go. But I think honestly, at the end of the day, I think it's important to really get your education because you need something to fall back on when you don't have sports anymore. Because when you don't have football, basketball, soccer, whatever sport they play or you play, it's not going to be a forever thing. For some people it is. And sometimes, depending on how their cars are laid out, it works for everybody. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't like that. So I was really thankful that I did sit out that year because I was still on track to still graduate on time. And then with me still tearing my ACL at Wisconsin, I had already entered into a master's program, and my master's program was 2 years. So with me sitting out from a transfer, then I had a injury, I can't even remember what it was called, but I ended up having to write a letter to the NCAA Yeah. I was gonna say, wait, what? Yeah, NCAA. Yeah, to help to ask them to give me another year, and that helped me because I was able to get my master's at Wisconsin. So I got my bachelor's and master's there, and I was I still I don't want to have to leave partway through my master's and then have to worry about having to pay and come back and figure out how am I going to be able to finish school, and now I got to pay out of pocket. So that benefited me. So I would just say to anybody, focus on your education, still graduate on time. Even if you not you off track a little bit, take that year off. Do what you got to do, stick it out, grind it out, and then it'll all work out in the end.
It's crazy, just the whole navigating your way through from high school, and then especially with injury, but then going to college. It's something else, man. Just hearing you talk about everything, being far from home and then close to home. It's a journey. You know what I mean? You've been on a journey for sure.
Yeah, for real. It's been it's a long journey, I will say. Then, like I said, I toured this 4th time. My dad said, I think it's time to stop. I said, I think it's time to stop.
It's time to stop, yeah. But yeah, man, I think it was a dope convo. Michala talked a lot about, the one transfer rule, her progress and from Uconn to Wisconsin, and then talking about overcoming injury. There was a lot being discussed today. So I think it'll be a good episode for a lot of the viewers. So I think that'll be dope, man. But go ahead and make sure y'all follow Michala on IG. Get her right. She
follow
had that
me right down there.
She had that same name for 10 years.
Hey, what's Uconn? That's when I had made my Instagram. I haven't changed since.
I know. So,
Same number and everything.
I don't even think Michala follow us. So
I do follow y'all.
What's up?
All right.
I made sure I follow y'all.
Go ahead and hit that follow button there too, and we'll see y'all next time with the next episode.
Hey, we appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
Great.
Next
Bye.
time.